Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Did you know that not everyone in this photo is alive? In the 1800s, photography was very expensive, and most children did not have their photo taken. It was common for children to die very young, so post-mortem photography became very popular. It helped preserve memories of those that died and allowed families to have photos of their children even after they were gone. Children were posed as if in a peaceful slumber or propped up in chairs. Children were either alone or posed with parents or siblings. While a lot of children were sleeping, others had their eyes painted on after the photograph was taken. The backgrounds were decorated with flowers, clocks, or the person's favorite items. While it was done for anyone of any age, it was very popular for children. While it seems weird and creepy in today's standards, it was a way to comfort grieving families and keep a token of their children forever.
That's creepy. I mean, I get it. I get it. But that's creepy. I'll never look at old pictures the same again. I'm going to be looking at their eyes going, are those painted on? Are they actually alive? But I get it. I get it. But it's weird. That's weird. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by. If you're having a good time, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. Then come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every day.
Okay, what is the Vatican doing? So they are preparing guidelines for apparitions and other supernatural phenomena. Now, for those who do not know, an apparition refers to an instance in which a divine entity, such as a saint, the Virgin Mary, or Christ himself, makes itself known to a person on earth. We have the Vatican declaring this guideline to be published on May 17th. Now, this date stuck out to me for a couple of reasons. Because this date on May 17th is one day before May 18th. And May 18th is 40 days after the Great American Solar Eclipse. So April 8th, that is when the solar eclipse happened. 40 days later is May 18th. It's just a weird coincidence that Homer, in the episode about him predicting the rapture, predicts it to be on May 18th. We also have the fake Pentecost happening a day after on May 19th. I am not telling you something is going to happen on one of these days. I am sure nothing is going to happen because I can see the comments now. Nothing happened. Nothing ever happens. I'm not telling you something is going to happen. I am just pointing out weird coincidences that I see, okay? Why is the Vatican declaring this on May 17th? Why is it published on May 17th? And that is, again, just perfect timing. 40 days after the solar eclipse, right before Pentecost. Again, we will have to wait and see what happens, but just weird times that we live in, guys. And I'm just bringing up these things to you, to your attention. You can take it to the Lord. You can think it's all silly, and that is fine. That's totally fine. We can all believe what we want, but I, for one, would recommend focusing your eyes upon the Lord, asking him for all discernment during these crazy times that we live in. So with that, guys, love you all so much. God bless, and remember, the just shall live by faith.
I got a little distracted and I was focused more on why does it have anything to do with the solar eclipse? It's 40 days after, but it's not actually 40 days. It's only 39 days. But that's not the point that I should have been focusing on. What I should have been focusing on is the fact that the Vatican is preparing for this. And they're issuing guidelines in preparation for apparitions. So that's more important than everything else he said after that, which was kind of a distraction. Because 40 days, I mean, it's just 40 days and 40 nights. Is that what it is? Because it wasn't even 40 days. It's 39 days. And so what? It was a solar eclipse. Big deal. But that the Vatican is issuing guidelines in preparation for apparitions. That is interesting.
QAnon is this group of people who followed this guy that was posting messages online, and this guy called himself Q. He claimed to have a bunch of secrets that he was revealing, claimed to be like a government agent, and he's dropping little hints all over the place to lead you to correct conclusions about what's happening in the government right now. He claimed that Hillary Clinton was about to be arrested. Never happened, of course. He claimed that Donald Trump was absolutely going to win the 2020 election. After the election took place, after Trump definitively lost, Q went silent. The very last post may have been in December of 2020, but the interpreters that got famous for interpreting what Q was saying continued on. to interpret more and more, to find old posts from Q and read it like a Bible. No joke. They were reading it like it was a Bible, all of his posts.
Thank you so much, Shayna Page 3331. You always have fantastic suggestions. And we're going to look into QAnon a little deeper, but I wanted to start at the base as far as what is QAnon? Because I didn't know. Not really. Didn't really know what QAnon was or if it still is. I know they were banned from YouTube, so it's hard to find content there like directly from the horse's mouth. And on TikTok, you can't even search QAnon. There's like little ways to work around it to get the information, but it's like linked to violence. And they're like, no, you can't look it up. It's not here. You can't even use the words QAnon in your title. It's not allowed. So I'm going to find some more information. We'll find out how deep this went or if it's still going and if it was just a 2020 election time cult. We'll see.
Oh my God, we were so lucky last night. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen people post pictures of like the northern lights and whatnot that they saw last night. Like that was from a coronal mass ejection, like a solar storm. And it spiked so high on the electromagnetic scale. If it had been any higher, it would have wiped out the electrical grid. The last time an event like this happened was called the Carrington event in 1859, where it shut down the telegraph communications lines. Imagine having no electricity for like months, like 3 months, might be more. How would you live? Like, think about it. These are real issues that we as a civilization need to rethink. I'd say I would consider getting a Faraday cage. And then also I think just as a civilization, we need to start considering fortifying our electrical grid for these kinds of things. We are so lucky, you know? All right, much love.
So yesterday we talked about how the northern lights coming down so far south may have been caused by the HAARP testing, right? And now we have this perspective that there actually was a coronal mass ejection and we were this close to being left in the dark. Just like the Carrington event. It was almost strong enough to take out everything. That's crazy. What if it happens again and it actually is strong enough to take everything out? We really got to do something about our infrastructure with the power grid and all of that stuff and make it a little more, stable so that our enemies can't just be like, take out their power and then we're left in the dark for months. Or even another Carrington event. Or if HAARP goes absolutely crazy and decides to take out our power grid.
Since day one and rip it right in half. So here we go. The photo description states that in the summer of 1903, construction continues inside the entrance to the Palace of Machinery for the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, the 1904 World's Fair. The date of this photo is in 1903. The fair in St. Louis was in 1904. So this would all make perfect sense, except there's a massive flaw. A flaw so big that it's undeniable proof that this building was constructed 100 years before the 1903 date that we are told, and proof that there was a mud flood that ripped through this building at some point after 1803. Where is the foundation of this building? Incredibly detailed construction projects do not take place on top of dirt and garbage. This, in my opinion, is the most incredible photo that I have ever seen to this point. A lie right in our faces, saying that this was being built in 1903, when we have multiple dates of 1803, time-stamped right on the building. Multiple times. Not only that, but you can see that the mud flood damaged the bottom of this building here. The mud came after the construction, not before. And I want to make that point very clear. This is a cleanup project, 100%. After this World's Fair, they knocked these buildings down, not because they were pathetic, but because they held dates that do not fit in our mainstream timeline and architecture that we cannot reproduce today. It's incredible. I've been talking to many people, engineers, construction workers, architects, and more about this photo. They are telling me that this is undeniable proof. And at this point, there isn't an excuse in the book that could save the mainstream history. It's time for everyone to wake up to the nonsense that we have all been force-fed to believe.
The Tartarian Empire was real. I truly believe that the Tartarian Empire was absolutely real. All of this magnificent architecture couldn't have been done in the times that we're being told it was done. And I don't know why, and I've said this multiple times, I don't know why it had to be erased. It doesn't make any sense. And I always say it's probably because of money, but why? Why? I don't know. May never know.
Think you are correct. They live multiple lives and get to choose what life they wanted to do. Don't get me wrong, genetics do pass on, but they literally look the same.
Of dudes that look like you.
Okay.
So they just think that you've been on the earth since you've just been around, there's just different generations. I just wanted to show you just in case.
We're all stardust, baby.
I know, that's it.
You know?
What is my name? Look at this.
Okay,
This
so
is-
what do we got?
What do you think?
What is this? In the beard and the cheekbones. And the forehead.
Look at that guy. That's a French actor, Paul Monet.
Yeah, we have the same foreheadish eyebrow, I think.
But that's the real...
Oh.
No, I kind of
That's
see a little bit of...
revolutionary. Got the eyes.
Chuck Spadina didn't sell his soul to the devil. There's a lot of theories surrounding the Hollywood movie stars and elite that they'll live forever. They are our eternals, right? Because they either sold their soul to the devil, or they can reincarnate as themselves, or they are the eternals. And if there's some kind of global cataclysm, we're supposed to protect them at all costs because they have to be here. They have to continue being here. There's also a theory that there's about 7 people walking around with your same face. So at any given moment, I don't know. I will never say that Keanu Reeves sold his soul to the devil because he is like the nicest man in the world. Like give you the shirt off his back type of fella. Literally. Really good dude. On that note, I'm going to call it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate every single second of your time. Come back tomorrow. We'll watch new stuff. I'll say different things. It's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.